Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Robert, and today I'm bringing you to the final boss, I suppose we will call him, of the Investor Bros, or the Investor Bros final boss. That is obviously nobody else than Logan Paul. Now, I'm sure recently you've seen Twitter and probably many other places and platforms sort of explode with the talk of him in relation to One Piece, of course. And this is because of the fact that during a recent video of his, he had 3 cases of OP13. Yep, it's happening. Now, this is an individual who has had, a good and a bad history in the end for what people have seen or known him for. As of late, I'd probably lean more towards the bad. More so with investments and different aspects like that. I mean, yes, WWE is cool and all, and I grew up watching it and being an avid fan of obviously John Cena mainly being my person, being the GOAT. But online presence-wise, outside of the scope of people who are fascinated and locked into that, it's not so brilliant. When it comes down to people investing or buying things in relation to his name, it crumbles quite heavily. Like, I would not touch that with a 30-foot pole. I would stay as far away from that as possible. And personally, I have no qualms, I have no problems with Logan in general. I don't really care for anything like that because what people do in their own life and things, that's their own decisions at the end of the day. So you can form your opinions and base things on whatever in the end, but at the end of the day, I'm not bothered. But this video is probably case in point to the whole overall shtick, I suppose, of why he did what he did in a recent video. Now, personally, I feel at first his intentions within TCGs, just across the board, were quite good. Whether that was just investing, buying things, or bringing more popularity to things, like hunting Charizard and everything, I feel like overall there was no, like ill will or malicious intent with him. You have him hunting for something, bringing positivity to it. He's bringing positive attention as well to everything. But then you sort of fall down a little bit to the whole selling aspect. The whole like people getting a percentage of Illustrator Pikachu card and everything, and it just being a very, very messy situation to then like buying back from those people the percentage of the card that they owned. But then he's also like a part owner, or in relation to that website, he's connected to it, which he then says that there were issues with the website, but then he's connected to it. And it's like, oh, I don't want to get near that, like buying them out. And then he's like connected to it. And it's like, oh, like, I'll get you your money back. I'll look into this. And it's like, oh, don't know about that. Just a bit of a yikes overall. And I want to stray on a different path. But then, like I said, you have the reason for this video. One Piece, he had 3 cases of OP13, as I stated. So he's got carrying on his will, and, everyone's like freaking out about it. I would say, obviously, there are 2 reasons, okay? Let's split this. Let's split this as 2 cases. The first case is he bought 3 cases of OP13, which people were like, oh no, this means the people who are like devout followers and investors of things behind him will also be buying up OP13, which is probably true. The other reason is because of the fact of what he said. He said, Luffy D Monkey. Oh, God. Now, as much as it pains me to want to believe the aspect of him saying, is he not called Luffy D Monkey? In this music video that I listened to, the guy said like Luffy D. For me, it just screams red flags. I would absolutely love to, with every fibre of my being, just say it's because he's an idiot. Genuinely, I would love to call it there and say, case closed, he's an idiot. Like the Grinch, where he shouts out in his cave. I would love that to be the case of just saying, you're an idiot. Done. But it's just not that easy, is it? I just don't find it that simple when it comes to the brothers in general, Logan and Jake. I just don't feel it that easy to write it off as idiot, done. Sign it, done. Stamp it, easy. File it, put it away, done. Because if you know what they're like, you know that they're always marketing ploys. You have someone who's come from Vine originally to YouTube, to Prime, to WWE, to crypto, to all sorts of investments, to bringing Pokemon into a more, modern sphere, I suppose, of the media, as so to say, giving it that stamp and really giving it a lot of exposure to the outward public. So it's just not that easy to believe the fact that he said Luffy D Monkey without the intention of getting this. He'll get tweets, he'll get Reddit posts, he'll get Facebook posts, he'll get Discord posts, he'll get YouTube videos. He will get everything that he is wanting, which will then bring more publicity to that video, but also some more towards One Piece, sort of on the line of the fans, but then also towards the thing that he is buying. You know, a small percentage, when you whittle it down, will be doing exactly what he wants them to do. Probably talking about him and buying One Piece. He then goes on to mention like Mr. Beast saying the fact that One Piece fans are toxic. However, I feel this is yet another ploy to get people to talk about things. Because at the end of the day, when you saw this whole Mr. Beast thing, it was a very, very weird thing, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, obviously every fan base, there's going to be a small percentage that are going to be toxic, but I feel this is BS. I feel that the whole case in point is that for a small amount of time, like a week to 10 days, there were a large amount of creators and very, very popular individuals who were all of a sudden on the One Piece train. Now they're not talking about it at all. They changed profile pictures, they did all these things, and Mr. Beast was like the prime case study that you could have for this. Changed his profile picture to Luffy, starts talking about One Piece, starts asking for like recommendations of things to watch and this and that and the other and all other things. But then all of a sudden, switch his profile picture back. And you're like, that's weird. Now you're not mentioning One Piece. Now you're not talking about it. For me personally, I feel like it was just a promo thing behind the scenes where a lot of creators were paid by Netflix because obviously season 2 of One Piece is going to be coming out. And I feel like they just needed a little bit of promo to build up some traction beforehand, get people talking about it and stirring things. Because there's no way like the largest creator is going to be talking about One Piece and talking about this and change his profile and then all of a sudden changing it back like after a specific time frame for no reason. And obviously, you know, like any anime fan, we obviously have a list of all of the animes that we've watched, all of the shows that we've watched, all of the manga that we've read, even the manhwa or webtoons that we've read. We've got a list of all of it, or we can just name it off the top of our head. Jimmy, you know, Mr. Beast, we can just do that because that's what, you know, sets us apart from the fake fans. You know, us true fans can do that. I feel it's so stupid. I really do. It's really, really, really dumb to make a list or say that these are the animes that I've watched. And it's like, oh, God. Like, yes, everyone's got like a letterboxed list within their mind that they can just like that, a moment's notice, and it's there and you can just list everything. I just feel like it's really cringe and really weird, you know, and obviously they can't say the fact that it is promotion or an ad or this or that because they're just doing it in a way that isn't bringing that sort of attention to it. It's not like, go and watch this at Netflix, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just more so bringing subtle, you know, traction to it, and also naming how many times you've watched a show and such. I feel it's really uncomfortable. Like, I've probably watched Hunter x Hunter like more than 10 times, but I couldn't tell you the exact time that I've rewatched it over and over because I just couldn't. I couldn't tell you like the exact date that I watched Yu Yu Hakusho when I was a kid because I had a backpack of that growing up, and it was like one of the shows that I watched growing up. I couldn't name when I watched the first Pokemon or the first Dragon Ball, the first Bleach or Naruto, anything. I could not do that for a day. But yet you have Jimmy being like, yeah, I can. And it's like, yeah, okay. But I feel that this has definitely gone the way that the Investor Bros, the final boss, has wanted it to. Because as I said, it brings attention. And that's the thing at the end. That is what feeds him. That's what allows him to continue growth. That's what allows him to continue spreading his roots into things. Whether, like I said, it's YouTube, it's Twitter, it's Discord, it's Reddit, it's whatever in the end, whatever platform it will spread to, whatever language as well, because I saw tweets in Japanese, Korean and Chinese that were coming up on my feed, all talking about it, all complaining about how he obviously said Luffy's name. And this is the result, obviously, me yapping about it. So congrats, I suppose. And it would be quite easy to write this off, like I said, as a bit, as something just simple, but in reality I feel like it served the purpose that he was intending it to, and obviously probably made Investor Bros or Crypto Bros or whatever devout fans buy OP13 cases. Those with the pockets deep enough have probably done it, thus probably boosting the price of cases, and then in the long run they will hold on to them and they will have the market majority like in the past when they went through buying up all of the Pokemon boxes. So with that long yapping session out of the way, let's look at some prices of things and some Investor Bro things. Okay, we have a Luffy Leader 3rd anniversary tournament card. It's currently $15 to $20. Next to that we have the Ryuma Volume 3 Best Selection is $70. I have seen this $70, $80, $85, in and around that range. I saw someone tweet about it originally saying this card is like $30, $35, it's going to go up, and then like 10 days or so goes by and I've seen about 5 tweets about it since, and its price point is up. The ST26 Luffy Leader, yep. this is currently rising and rising and rising. I've seen it basically everywhere, as well as other cards that included in the ST26 deck, the starter deck, are also going up and up and up, which is crazy. Zoro. Yep, Winner Pack Volume 3, these are starting, they're starting to buy these up. I've seen this for a minute now, that all of like the winner packs and the winner cards and the promotional cards are all starting to go above like 20, 25, 30, 35. From there we just have funny. I've seen a few of these, I can't lie, they're just great. This guy got Leader Boa, and he's posted on Facebook asking what the red back meant. And yeah, there was another one of the same nature where someone was trying to sell like their rares, uncommons and commons, saying that they take like $50 or $60 for them, which I find hilarious because it's just like, come on. Going on to carrying on his will, obviously it's now 7,000 for the market price of a case. I believe this is now almost more than OP09, and it's nearing the high point prices in the end. Across the board, they're all very expensive. Box is settling between 500 and 550, and every other card is just rising steadily. I mean, Luffy's Parallel SEC, like the secret rare was like, what, $45, $50? It's now $150. Divine Departure is also up heavily along that lines. That was like 70, 65. It's up here. The treasure rare is up as well. Luffy's SP is 510. It was like 140, 150, which is insane. And yeah, everything else is just climbing. I mean, when you look at it, it is now the third most expensive case. It goes Romance Dawn, OP05, and then OP13. How insane is that it's gone ahead of OP09, of EB01. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. So yeah, obviously the intent, it's happened. Speaking of these, a red Luffy and red Ace sold, PSA 10. The Luffy went for 24,100 and the Ace went for 9,900, so like 34,000 overall, nearly 35,000. So yeah, insane. There was also another thing that I saw from JB on Twitter, or Old Town JB, who purchased the finalist card, you know, that I spoke about recently, where it's got a certain texture to it, and someone sold one in a black label, the only black label, for like 15,000 or 12,000 it was. So he bought this from PSA, and PSA had a history recently of mislabeling things. This is not the finalist card, this is the base card for the championship in the end. Okay, the finalist has a texture to it, but yeah, it's insane, isn't it, that they sold this. He bought it, and then PSA have obviously since cancelled it and everything. And yeah, but yeah, I don't believe there's much else to talk about except for the fact that Heroines is currently pre-sale. It's a month out, literal month out, is 500, and someone actually paid, I believe it is still here, so someone paid 745 right there, but there was a high sale of 900. When I saw this and said to someone that there was a pre-sale of 900, I lost my mind, because like, are you guys being serious? You've been for real? I even saw this with like JP cards, because by the way, EB03 and OP13 are getting a restock with Japan, but currently a booster box from Japan, from Bandai themselves, I could personally have bought OP13 in Japanese for 5,300 yen. Currently, the lowest price point is now 19,000. So that's 4 times the price. And EB03 Heroine is also starting to do the same. It's starting to creep up above like 10,000, 12,000. So yeah, I'm glad there's going to be a restock, because that's going to crash that price point, but it is absolute insanity. But yeah, there were also sales for the Mega Charizard EX that I thought I'd just throw in here too, just show the price points for those who complain about grading companies. You have a CGC Pristine 10 at 2.2, PSA 10 at 1.9, Tag at 1750, and a Beckett 10 at 3,000. So yeah, just throwing that in. That's going to cover this video anyway. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you think of the Investor Bros, or who you might believe the final boss is in terms of people who come into the scene investing. And yeah, that is going to cover it for me. So I do hope that you have a good rest of your day. I do hope that people have pulled what they've hoped to pull out of, whether it's the illustration boxes, OP14 or EB03, because some people have had early boxes of things, or if you've opened Japanese, I hope you had some luck. But yeah, that's going to cover it. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Peace.